When Donald Trump told Jasmine Crockett to learn her place, he didn't expect her response to silence the room and shake the country. The studio was electric before the cameras even rolled, not with excitement, but with tension, like the air before a storm. The room was never supposed to feel this heavy. National town halls were polished for scripted debates, rehearsed comebacks, politicians playing roles they'd perfected over decades. But tonight, in a Dallas studio under the glare of live TV lights, something was different. Seasoned. Anchors clutched their cue cards a little tighter. Producers exchanged sharp glances behind the cameras. The audience, handpicked for neutrality, sat rigid, their forced calm betraying the energy humming beneath the surface. At the center of it all, Representative Jasmine Crockett sat quietly, her hands folded, watching. She wasn't there to perform. She wasn't there to play the game. She was there because her district had asked her to show up, and when you came from where she came from, showing up meant something. Across the table, Donald Trump leaned back in his chair, smirking. 35 minutes in, during a debate about leadership, he flicked a glance at her and dropped a line that would change everything. Maybe if some of these young politicians stopped trying to go viral and started learning their place, this country wouldn't be in such a mess. The words hung in the air. A few nervous laughs trickled from the crowd. One moderator opened his mouth to pivot, but Jasmine raised a hand. Her voice didn't rise. She didn't blink. She just looked him dead in the eye and said, "Mr. Trump, I know you're used to people clapping for nonsense. But respect isn't handed out based on age or title. It's earned. And given your record, you might want to sit this one out." The silence that followed wasn't just quiet, it was alive. 4 seconds stretched like an eternity. Someone near the front gasped. A mic caught a whispered whoa. Trump chuckled, reached for his water. But for once, just this once, he didn't have a comeback. And just like that, the script was broken. By the time the broadcast ended, the clip had already metastasized across the internet. TikTok edits with dramatic soundtracks. Twitter threads dissecting her tone. Cable news panels scrambling to label it. Was it a burn, a turning point, a fluke? But the real storm wasn't online. It was in the texts flooding Jasmine's phone friends, strangers, former professors, even a few old adversaries. Most were supportive, some were furious. A handful were threats, veiled in vague language, but sharp enough to make her staff call Capitol Police. And then there were the letters. Handwritten, ink-on-paper messages from people who didn't tweet, but still felt something shift. A retired Marine in San Diego wrote, "You reminded me of my CO in '91. She never raised her voice, either just told the truth and let it do the work." A 12-year-old in Kansas scribbled, "I showed my mom the clip. She cried. I think because she was proud." Jasmine didn't celebrate. She didn't give interviews. She spent the next 2 days in Fort Worth at her godmother's house. Phone on silent, watching the world dissect a moment she hadn't even planned. Not everyone was cheering. The Trump campaign called her rude, unprofessional. Proof Democrats are out of touch. Right-wing influencers edited the clip, stripping context, adding laugh tracks, painting her as an entitled brat. Trolls flooded her DMIs. One man sat outside her district office for hours, just watching. But the quieter resistance was more telling. In D.C., colleagues who used to greet her with backslaps now offered tight smiles. A senior Democrat pulled her aside. "You've got a future here, don't let a soundbite define it." Translation: play nice. Stay quiet, know your place. Jasmine didn't flinch. At a closed-door meeting, when a senior rep smirked, "Maybe we'd get more done if people weren't focused on going viral," she didn't yell. She just said, "Let's talk about your farm subsidy line item. Explain how it ended up in a veterans bill." The room went still. A week later, she sat across from Trump again, this time in a controlled, pre-taped interview. No audience, no fireworks. Just two people, and the weight of what had been said. "Do you regret it?" the host asked. Jasmine didn't hesitate. "I regret that the bar for stunning is still a woman refusing to be minimized." Trump leaned in. "Everything's personal with you people." She held his gaze. "You didn't question my professionalism, you questioned my place." For a split second, even he paused. In the end, it wasn't about the clip. It wasn't about the headlines. It was about the people who saw themselves in her, the teachers playing the video in civics classes. The young organizers texting, "How do I start?" The mothers whispering, "You said what we've been thinking for years." At a town hall in Dunk, an older woman asked, "Were you scared?" Jasmine shook her head. "I was aware of what happens when someone like me speaks that directly in a room built to make you feel small. But awareness doesn't mean silence. It means you speak anyway." The room erupted not in cheers, but in something deeper, recognition now. "It's your turn." This wasn't just a story about politics. It was about power, who gets to wield it, who gets to challenge it, and what happens when someone refuses to play by the old rules. So here's the question. When the mic comes your way, what will you say? Will you whisper to fit in? Or will you speak and let the silence that follows shake the room?